Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another dope episode of Sports with SoSo. Coming to you live, y'all. This week, Messi brings a first trophy to Inter Miami CF. The Marlins are still battling for their wild card spot. The Dolphins and Tua get a victory on the road in Houston. And we got fireworks in UFC 292. It's time to take a ride, y'all. Let's go. Damn. We back, baby. In the building.
Back like we never left.
It's good to see you, doggy.
Definitely don't gotta rely on spotty Wi-Fi in a hotel.
Yeah.
Sorry about last week, everybody, but I got a job, man. I gotta pay for this equipment somehow.
It happens, man. It happens. We're working on sponsorships, right, to get it cracking. Shout out to Noku.
Hey, no free ads, but yo, this stuff is...
No free ads, but woo-wee. They sent your boy a case. And it got me and Joel right, definitely, for this podcast. I'm feeling caffeinated the right way.
Yeah, we actually rambled on the mic for a good 10 minutes, a conversation about if is Fat Joe underrated or not. Led to us talking about Biggie and Puff and the whole rap game. I don't even know.
If you think that Fat Joe is an underrated rapper, drop a comment on the YouTube video.
yeah.
Drop a comment. We want to hear your thoughts.
It's good to see you, doggy.
Yeah, man. Likewise, doggy. Bro, it's been an exciting weekend, right? We got a lot of stuff happening. Couple of ups, couple of downs, but a lot of good things to look at and look forward to as well. We got to start with the main man of Miami. That's Lionel Messi.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
That guy. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's kind of popular.
I may have, yeah. I may have.
This dude, man, Inter Miami CF has really been on a rocket ship, since he landed here, bro. And it's incredible to see how much pull one person has. But it's not too crazy to think about it when you look at who it is. It's Messi. And in this game, in his element, this guy's just able to pull things out, at whatever time, doesn't matter the circumstance. Like, he's just a legit phenom, dog. To watch this guy play a game, he walks around for most of the game, dog. But when he moves and he's running and he has control of the ball, the attention that he deserves, like the way that he impacts the game and makes everybody focus in on him. I don't think I've ever really seen that, dog. Especially on a soccer pitch. I've seen it in other sports, right? Where one guy can dominate the attention of the entire audience. But Messi does it at a different level, man. And in this game, he didn't leave any doubt as to his abilities. He scored a wonderful goal to put Inter Miami up in the Leagues Cup final that they were facing Nashville in Nashville. And everybody was booing Messi. Every time he touched the ball, booing us. And I think the team fed off of that, bro, because they kind of looked like they were playing to their, above their standards, if that makes any sense. Because if you think about it, those guys were just the same guys that they were before Messi got here. But when you're playing with world-class players by your side, a Messi, a Busquets, a Jordi Alba, right? A Yedlin, a guy who's played for the U.S. in World Cup games, Josef Martinez, all these dudes. These are guys that have certain type of experience, right? And they're able to control the moments in the game. And it seems like everybody else on the squad has really risen to that level. I mentioned some of the guys there, but they've really stepped up and not let Messi just carry them to every game, just carry them throughout it. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of looks like they're supporting Messi. It's not like they're just waiting for Messi to do everything and they're just hanging back.
Well, Messi is leading the charge.
Right.
Definitely, there's no doubt about that. I mean, he's only been with us less than double-digit games? I think he's still single-digit games played.
7 games.
And he's already the top 3 goal scorer in the club history.
With 10 goals. Wild.
Or is that number 2 already? He surpassed number 3 already. He's still number 3?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, that's not, obviously, it's not saying much about Inter Miami. The team was dead last. 5 wins on the year, still a new young team. But, I mean, I talked about this before Messi, put on the uniform. That, when I asked you, I was like, name me the best player in MLS. So, I know this is not an MLS, it's another tournament or whatnot, but
right.
Unless it's like a big global tournament or it's a Premier League or something like that.
For Champions League, something like that.
I mean, I'm always going to look at the competition as subpar. You know? Now, as far as Messi having an impact around the players around him? Absolutely. I think we have seen that. He's leading the charge, having a positive impact on the players, and they're yielding the results that they and everybody want, which is wins. And this was an impressive one. It wasn't the easiest one. You know, Messi did go up early, and everybody thought, game's over.
Right.
Nashville's a good team, and we're there for a reason. And they put up a fight, and this game ended up having to go into PKs.
Yeah, because they actually equalized the game, you know, off a corner kick, and were able to get enough bodies in there to kind of confuse the defense a little bit, left an open man, and he was able to just tap it in right within maybe 3 yards of the goal. But yeah, you know, you mentioned the competition. The MLS is rising in competition, and Messi came out and said it himself, like, you know, you got to look at this league as its infancy. Yeah, it's been around for 10 plus years, but that's nothing compared to how long La Liga has been around, in the Premier League, and, you know, all these other high level European leagues have been around for. So the MLS is still kind of like a baby, but there are bits and pieces that you look at and you're like, man, a lot of these guys are good, you know, and I've even seen it where in the recent transactions, you know, there are teams from the Premier League, from La Liga, from Serie A buying U.S. players or players from the MLS and sending them over there to Italy or sending them over there to France or whatever. That lets you know that there is talent here. It's just not in abundance, right?
Yeah, there definitely is a lesser level of play that you can expect, you know, from any of the games that he's playing in. But again, you know, they're still professionals. I don't want to take away from that. They're still great, talented people, but they're not the best in the world that he's competing with, that he's used to competing with, that he's been playing against since he was 14 years old. So I expected that. Is my whole point of saying all that is, like, I kind of expected this. I don't know a whole lot about soccer. You obviously know more than me, but as an outsider, knowing already the lore that is Lionel Messi and everything he's been able to do, and then most recently what he was able to do, capping off his career already, you know, with a World Cup victory for his country. Yeah, it's like, yeah, man, I expected the best player in the world to literally come in here and Ted Lasso this shit.
I hear you, man, but soccer's a little bit different, right? Because you're playing with 10 other guys. It's a lot of dudes on a field.
I get that.
A big field.
There's not one guy that Messi has faced in 7 games that can guard him.
Bro,
true or false?
But we can say that about any European league that he's played in.
I don't know. I mean, no. You can't say that about anybody in that he's played against in...
Anybody. You can put the world's best defender up there and look at the numbers that Messi has put up on him, and it's going to be comparable.
I get that. That's like saying, like, well, my whole argument is, you know, there's like putting PJ Tucker on LeBron or KD.
Yeah.
And then there's putting Joel Anthony on one of those guys. PJ Tucker's gonna at least slow them down a little bit more.
Yeah, but you know what? You get what I'm saying? 100%. But you know what? LeBron James is still averaging 32 on PJ Tucker.
Totally understand. I get that.
Lionel Messi is, and then when he's facing Joel Anthony, he's averaging 36. So that's what we're seeing now, right?
That's my point. Like there's it's just it's like he's gonna have a field day. But it's not a big
dip, is what I'm saying. It's not a big dip, especially because it's 10 guys focusing on Messi. So you don't need a great one-on-one defender. You defend in soccer by guarding zones and guarding areas, right? So you don't necessarily man mark the entire game.
Sure. Okay.
So it's a little bit different as far as limiting the chances that Messi can get. And he didn't have a lot of chances in that game. He made the most out of his one chance. They didn't pass him the ball when he called for it. He just continued in the play and got to the top of the key. The ball just happened to come up on him. And then once he got it, he was like, I know what to do with this. Dribble left, shot, perfect shot, in the corner. Nobody's touching this. Here's a golazo. Everybody came to see
nasty,
it.
Dog.
Just so nasty. But Nashville fought back. And even in fighting back, the team withstood the defensive pressure, right, that they were being put on by Nashville to keep the game a tie, right, and make sure that they can perform and help Messi. It's not carry us, Messi. It's we're going to help you. You go do your thing. And that's exactly what happened, because in this League's Cup final, there's no extra time. It's just straight penalty kicks. And Messi stepped up and knocked the first one down. But guess what? Every single player that stepped up after him made their kick. And that shows you, again, they're following his leadership. I feel extra confident about taking this penalty kick because that guy back there at the half line feels confident in me taking this penalty kick. So it's just amazing to see the impact on the field, bro. Because even though it is MLS and it is noticeably weaker competition, it's still a team effort, and these guys are all in, dog. These guys are all in. Even the goalie, man, who ended up scoring the winning goal, right? Kick a hard ass kick over their goalkeeper. He went out there and blocked the goalie's kick, and he blocked 2 penalty kicks, as a matter of fact. So it's incredible to see how much this team is really helping Messi. And Messi recognizes that, because when they were going to celebrate, he gave the captain's armband back to Yedlin, who was the original captain.
Yeah, he also refused to hoist the trophy without him.
Without him, you know what I mean? He was like, nah, man, this is your team. I just got here. Yeah, I'm here. I'm a part of it. Let's rock together. And that's what it looked like. A team that's ready to rock together. So
the funniest moment to me was after, when they're celebrating in the locker room, and the guy that just won the World Cup this year, he's like, bro,
in the corner chilling.
You think I care? He's on his phone, bro. He was like
44 for me, Papa.
Bro, he didn't care at all.
Nah.
Like not even a little grain, bro, about that trophy, bro. It's a funny thing. Like, man, this guy, he's the GOAT, bro. He's the GOAT. Like, he just does what he wants, you know, at his will. He can win. He can come back. But he does it all in an impressive fashion too. It's all like just boisterous and crazy. His goals, like, you gotta love everything that's going on right now,
dog. And I think that for a long time in his career, right, because he is such a winner, I think that he's lost the taste for trophies. It's not necessarily about the trophy; it's about the journey, the camaraderie, you know, getting this guy his trophy, or this guy into winning, or proving that, you know, that this guy can play in this form, or we can do it with this coach or with this player. I think that's what it's about for Messi. And it's been like that for a while, because he's won so many trophies. He's won every single fucking trophy.
He's won it all.
44 trophies, dog. Like, come on, man.
How many Ballon, whatever?
He has like 8 of them or 7. I don't know. Get out of here. He can't stop winning them, is what I'm saying.
That's why, like, you look at that video and it was like, I feel him. Like, I mean, I don't feel him, but like, I can see that. You know what I mean? Like, you're not there, like, popping champagne with the guys in the locker room. You've been there.
Yeah, for sure. And here's what I can see, right? And we talked about this previously, but now I think we're even more at that level with Messi and Inter Miami CF. These guys are really gonna make a playoff push and get into the playoffs.
All right, give me an update. Last time 2 weeks ago, I think we were 12 points behind the last spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, we're still in last spot, right? We're still in the last spot.
What's the gap?
But the gap is 9 points. That's 3 games, 3 wins. And for me, when you have 6 out of your next 11 MLS games at home, you're feeling really good about your chances, because you obviously plan on winning those games and getting those points. But when you're on the road, you're looking to tie. And we've seen this team magically win games or put themselves in a position where they can either score points or walk away with the win, or push it into extra time, whatever the case. This team has a real belief about himself. They really believe in the coach. He's putting these players in good positions where they're able to create. It's not like Messi's having to go out there and score 4 goals a game in order for Inter Miami to win. No, the ball is moving. Guys are getting assists. The passing has been really great. I think they have all of the little intangibles and things that you would need in order to make a big push like that, man. Their next game is Wednesday. They're going to be playing in the U.S. Open Cup, which is strictly for teams inside the USA from all different soccer leagues. It's not only MLS, it's USML, which is the National League as well. So there's like 3 different organizations that are US leagues that make up that US Open Cup, and Inter Miami is playing on Wednesday.
Are you going to go to the trophy unveiling?
On Wednesday, I'm thinking about it next week, dog. Actually, if I won't be here, dog. I'll be in DR.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'd rather be there.
I'd rather be there too.
I'd rather be unveiling that trophy. Hey, oh, man. All right, well.
But I'll be watching it. That's for damn sure.
No doubt. Well, all I got to say is, with Messi, anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
We've seen it already. I mean, forget about it, bro. We can definitely do this with Messi.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I really feel confident in how the team is playing right now. I don't think that they're really dependent on Messi. A lot of these guys are playing for themselves and for the ability to do what they can do. And I think that the sky is the limit. I wouldn't be surprised that as we follow this team in their MLS journey, I wouldn't be surprised that they make the playoffs, dog. And then we're talking about another Miami team in the playoffs, making a playoff run with a serious chance to win more trophies. Come on, man. That's what we do down here in 305.
Playoff teams.
Playoff teams.
We only want to talk about playoff teams.
That's it. Now, let's talk about another potential playoff team. We're talking about the Miami Marlins here.
Potentially
being another team that makes the playoffs. Are they going to be able to do that? 64 and 61 on the season, still third in the NL East. What do you think is going to happen with this Marlins team, dog? Because we've kind of been up and down a lot more than what we have been in the first half of the season.
I don't know shit about fuck. I mean,
guy hates the Marlins is what he's saying, dog.
I love the Marlins, dog. Especially the games I've been to this year have been great games, games that we've come from behind to win, very entertaining and very telling of what our team is capable of.
Yeah, facts.
But they are very inconsistent at the moment, compared to the first half of the season. Last week, since we last got together and talked, they lost 2 straight series already.
Back to back.
That's not good when you're trying to make a playoff push.
Absolutely not, man. And then when you think about it, it's not even the playoff push, it's what you're putting yourself into, right? Because now you're talking about, instead of being in the driver's seat or as close to the driver's seat, now you're in the mix. And being in the mix is ultimately what we wanted, right? In the beginning of the year, which is great. But now, like, we're in the mix, it doesn't feel that great because you're looking at the other teams and you're like, fuck, man. Like, any of these teams can really pop off and catch heat and really get and make themselves available to that wild card spot.
Right.
Cincinnati's there. We're tied with them. Arizona's there. We're tied with them. Chicago's still ahead of us by a game. San Francisco and Philadelphia are holding on the wild card spots. But those are tough teams. And for us to beat them, it is possible, but we need to be playing our best type of ball, right? It can't be like, we're going through it like we are right now. No, we need to see really good performances here. And this shit kind of sucks, man, because the one game that I did watch over the weekend was Yuri Perez pitching. This dude pitched
phenomenal.
Fucking lights out, dog.
Record-setting performance.
Dog, lights out, 6-inning pitch, 10 strikeouts. Out of the 90 pitches he threw 60 strikes, my dog.
I saw the Marlins posted. He was the first player to do that since, I think, who was the last person? Shoot.
It was probably the kid, dog. It was probably Jose Fernandez.
I think it was like in all of Major League Baseball. It wasn't just in Marlins franchise history. I'm going to look it up right now.
It just shows you, dog, that this kid is the real deal. Only gave up 2 hits. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, yo, why the fuck did we even waste time with this guy and sending him back down when this guy could have been putting up quality performances? Who is it?
All right, so it said Yuri Perez struck out a career-high 10 batters today at the Dodgers, becoming the youngest pitcher to record double-digit strikeouts in a game since Seattle's Felix Hernandez. King Felix struck out 11 batters in 2005.
Nasty.
Talking, this is over 15 years now.
Yeah.
So that kid, I mean, to be in that same conversation, I mean, at least just in a stat category,
he has the stuff.
Felix Hernandez, I mean, that's very, very good. Very
telling that he has the stuff. So it boggles the mind to see why the fuck the Marlins would ever even consider saying, yeah, let's send this kid back down. Like that, there was no need for that. And it severely affected this team and the momentum that we had. It definitely did, because now look at us. We're barely a 500 team. In our last 10 games, we've gone 5-5. We've lost back-to-back series. And now, like I said in the beginning of the session, we're back to being in the mix, quote-unquote, team when we could have been one of those teams that's in the driver's seat or at least right behind the driver's seat. Like, I don't know what this front office was thinking, but they definitely didn't do the right move here. In sending back Yuri. I don't know, though.
I mean, I know during that time, we sent Yuri down. We brought back Cueto.
Yes.
And then there was other things. So I don't know if it had to do with that. And then them saying, hey, let's rest the guy because he's young and da-da-da-da. We don't want to, hurt or compromise our young, potential stud. I don't know if those things all came into play, but yeah, we definitely are a better team when we have him in the rotation.
Yeah, for sure. But what I think it really does, Joel, dog, and how it hurts the Marlins is it throws off the vibe that you need to have in baseball. It's a clubhouse with 50 dudes. Like, all those dudes needs to have like some type of brothership, you know what I mean? Like brotherhood, and really be bought into what the mission is. And sometimes when you have a young stud that's pitching or a young infielder that's playing well or a guy who's battling for the batting crown, like those things motivate the group and guys get inspired by that. And you see that and they feed off that energy. But when you send that player away and then this guy starts doing bad, you lose that magic. You lose that presence in the locker room. And that happens to take away from what happens on the field. Yeah. Now, granted, we've seen good performances here and there. Sandy's had a good game here and there. What's his dude's name? Braxton Garrett has pitched well here and then a lot farther there. But it hasn't been something that we've seen like the first half of the season where it was consistent, where you saw the back-to-back-to-back series win and you saw the back-to-back-to-back games winning. Now we hardly ever get that. And I think it's because we lost that momentum when we sent down Yuri. Now, can they get it back? Yes. If he keeps pitching like this, I think we can get it back, but we need somebody else rather than fucking Josh Bell to show up with the bats.
Josh Bell's a beast, bro.
Kid's a beast.
Josh Bell had a home run on the other day, no?
Yep.
Let me see.
He's up this tally to 6 home runs in the month of August.
Damn. That's
Killing
nice.
it. Killing it.
I mean, the other thing, so too, we've had a lot of road games. We're struggling on the road, man. Yeah, we're struggling on, and that's what we're seeing. We can come home and we can get into these dog fights where maybe we're losing, but we come back and all that. But we're not really seeing that on the road. It's kind of few and far between, and that right there is, even if we manage to sniff the wild card, if these other guys struggle and we get some momentum going. With that stat line of struggling on the road, I don't know what our record is, but I'm sure it's not favorable. That's not
27 and 34.
It's not something I feel very confident, even if we were to make the playoffs.
Yes, but I think that like some of that could have been avoided had we not sent down Yuri right around the All-Star break. Because if you think about it, that's when we really started to lose games. You look at the schedule.
Right before, 2 weeks right before.
We started to lose games, right? And then the second half of the season started and we go on that terrible losing streak. So now, a lot of those were road games. We were at Baltimore, at St. Louis. Then we headed to Tampa Bay. And then we went to the Rangers. And then we went to Cincinnati. Now we went to LA. So
to LA.
All of those were losses when we were on the road. That's but it's not because we were playing terrible. I don't think it was because we were playing terrible. No. I think we were in a funk and we never got out of that funk. And like I said earlier, man, baseball is a game of like vibes, chemistry, you know what I mean? Happenstance. We saw it with the Yankees, with the dumb Red Sox, with the Tampa Bay. Like those guys find a formula and it works and it only makes sense to the guys in the clubhouse. But that's the energy you need to have in order to have that come out on the field in winning fashion, which is what the Marlins had, and now we lost it, and now we're trying to regain it. But things are trending positive. You know what I mean? I don't want to make this too bad for all the Marlins fans.
There's guys that are playing well, that are still playing well. Jorge Soler was over 30 home runs on the year for us.
Killing it.
So, that's what we brought that guy in for to do, and he's doing it. Josh Bell, like you just mentioned, we just acquired pretty much right at the deadline.
Yep.
6 home runs in just a month of August alone. I mean, I don't know how many he has on the season already, but just 6 for us already in this month alone is like, we're getting a return on the guy.
Yeah.
Luis Arraez is,
still doing his thing. Batting 357.
I mean,
still doing his thing.
That's
amazing.
That doesn't get enough attention, in my opinion. It's talked about enough. Like that should be constantly talked about. But I get it. You're getting, you get it so much that it's like, all right, you're just kind of expecting now from kind of like Messi scoring a goal. Yeah. So, but I think it's our pitching, man. Would you say that? Is it the pitching or are we lacking on the hitting?
I think it's the pitching for sure, Joel. Because if we look at the hitting, right, what did we talk about in the beginning of the season? We needed one guy to go over 25 home runs. We got that. Jorge Soler has been killing it. 32 home runs on the season. We don't even have another guy in the 20s, I think. So, yeah, we got the home run power there. Everybody else has contributed. We have 5 guys in double figures, right, with 10 or more home runs. Cool. Then we looked at like, all right, who's going to be the guy who drives in runs? All right, we have that guy who hits the home runs, but we also need guys to bat, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th to hit doubles. Do we got that? Yup. We've seen Soler hit. Luis Arraez has obviously been doing great when it comes to RBIs. Brian De La Cruz has hit a lot of timely hits, right? He had a great first half of the season. Even Jesus Sanchez, he's played well when it comes to bringing runners in. So we have the guys bringing runners in. And more importantly, we have the guys available to get on the base. So we were covered pretty much on everything that we asked for offensively. What we looked for is some type of stability in the pitching, and we never even got that, dog, because we were relying on Sandy coming back and winning games for us. Guy has, 6 wins on the season. 6-10 Cy Young winner. 6-10. Like, I get it that some of the games have been on us blowing it.
Yeah.
But a lot of the games has been him putting himself in bad positions as well and not being able to come out of it.
And he started off, kind of in the funk, and we attributed to that to, well, you're coming off a Cy Young year, you're doing interviews, you're the guy, you're moving around, you're not training as much. He'll get into the groove of things once there's the season. Talk to me, we can't solely put it on him. It's, partially due to closers, but give me some stats. You got anything on Sandy that would justify us saying he's underperforming this year?
He's given up 153 hits.
That's big.
That's a lot, right? He's given up 20 home runs this season, right? With 41 walks versus against 141 strikeouts. So he's already given up more hits than strikeouts that he's gotten. Not something that Sandy normally does. Has a terrible ERA for the season. Just not Sandy-like. And that would be, bro, if we were talking about T-Raw, Braxton Garrett, Luzardo, whoever, anybody but Sandy, would be like, whatever. We can't really depend on this guy or whatever. But these are stats of a former Cy Young winner, dog.
Current. Like, he's the reigning.
Yeah, I get it. But, like, you should be better than that.
100%.
Because even if you were on a bad team, dog, you would go out there and look, we've seen him do it where he goes 9 innings, complete game, pitches amazing. But we've also seen him go 4 innings, give up 4 runs, and be like, fuck, you just gave up 3 home runs in 3 innings.
Look, a team that I think we played recently, Houston Astros, right?
Yep.
Lit
them up.
When I saw they had Verlander on the mound, I was like, we're done.
We're done here.
And we got cooked that day. Cooked.
So
what was that score? I'm going to look that up right now.
If you look at the pitching staff, Joel, that's the biggest weakness, right? Jesus Luzardo is leading the team with 8 wins, and he's 8-8 on the season. So we got a 500 pitcher being our highest winner. And then you look at a guy like Braxton Garrett, who's pitched well in a majority of the games, but he's not a front of the rotation guy. He's more of a like middle to the back rotation guy. But he's 7-4 on the season. How does that guy have 1 more win than fucking Sandy Alcantara? Yuri Perez wild. Has 5 wins, and he missed a month of Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
The problem is in the pitching staff.
Yeah.
And we saw it get fixed because we had AJ Pug have a bunch of blown saves and blown games. We brought in Robinson. He was a little shaky at first, but he's been solid ever since then. And now we get nothing. So I don't know, man. I thought the problem was going to be the offense, but it's obviously not the offense. It has to do with the pitching, and I don't know how we're going to fix it. I don't know if it self-corrects. Who knows?
I was gonna, bring up that game against Verlander, but Verlander didn't even do that great that game.
We hit him up.
Pitched 5 innings. He had 9 hits, 4 earned runs. Didn't really have a great game, and our final score was 12-5. So what does that tell you? I mean, that tells you that they at least have a bullpen that can bounce their ace back when he's having an off night.
Yeah,
man. We don't have that.
We don't have that. We don't have that.
If Sandy's off, we're just kind of doomed. We don't have anybody even that can kind of bounce back. I mean, that's kind of what I'm seeing here.
Chico, ERA
they put
over
up 6
4,
runs up in the 7th inning.
Doggy, ERA over 4, dog.
Let me see, man. Who pitched for us that day? Luzardo pitched that day. 3 innings he pitched. No. It's a mess. It was a mess that night, bro. There's no consistency.
No.
And pitching. It was a mess that night. I don't even want to talk about that. Anyways, we'll keep an eye on it, man. We got to start winning series. Especially with all these other teams that are about to get hot. So
Sandy just has to be better, dog. And again, I'm looking at his last 5 games, dog. He's given up at least 5 hits or more in every single game, giving up an average of about 2.5 to 3 runs, averaging about 6 to 7 strikeouts, which is good. Walks are low, but he's given up 3 home runs in 2 appearances, twice. That's not the same Sandy, man. That's not the same Sandy. And if he's not going to be right or at that high level, it's going to be tough for the Marlins to get the playoff spot.
Yeah.
Everything else is working, dog. We got a bunch of hitting. We have more than enough hitting. Need to solidify that pitching somehow, some way, dog.
Big facts.
Let's see what they can do, bro. Let's see what they can do, man. Let's flip on over to another Miami team that we got down south that they're getting ready to start their season. They're in the middle of preseason. We just saw them beat the shit out of Houston, 28-3 in Houston.
Did you watch the game? You watch the game?
I saw the first couple of plays.
Okay. So you would have seen Tua's first
I saw
throw.
the interception.
Let's talk about it. That's the elephant in the room right now. Everybody keeps asking me, what do you think about Tua's first throw being an interception?
I think that it was obviously a miscommunication. Obviously. You know what I mean? And that shit happens in the NFL. Preseason or not. I'm not forgiving the interception, but that's what the fuck that preseason is for, man. Yeah. Get those things out of the way and minimize those mistakes as much as possible. I was just telling a coworker today, like, when was the last time that a QB who was really, really good had under 10 interceptions on a season? Get out of here. It's the NFL, dog. Things happen.
Yeah, we definitely don't want them, to make bad decisions and give up easy ones.
For sure.
But if you watch the game, you would have seen that our defense, I mean, the fact that we had that many starters playing, there was a lot of guys that weren't playing, but there was a lot of guys that were playing, including Brad Chubb.
Right.
And if you saw, our defense stepped it up, even though they had a short field, they were right there. We stopped them. We didn't let them put up any points.
With their starting squad.
Got the ball back, turnover on downs, and then Tua led a drive the length of the field, and we scored a touchdown.
And that's what bothered me, Joel. The fact that anywhere that you saw on social media or even people who were covering the game besides Goldie, who was doing the radio call, nobody else really talked about how good Tua looked in that drive.
Yeah, I'm talking about it. Sports with SoSo's talking about it, baby.
We are, because we recognize these things as a football elevated mindset type program, right?
That's a Dolphins fan base.
Yeah, but even if we were watching a regular game, we would have been able to see that. Let's say we're not Dolphins fan and we are watching that game. We look at that drive and be like, "Fuck, that QB had a hell of a drive. That guy was on fire." Have to look at it like that, and a lot of people don't. They want to focus on Tua's mistakes and the issues that he has here and there. But in my eyes, I think that next drive just showed how comfortable that relationship is between McDaniel and Tua, and how much better it's getting because of how they're able to call plays and attack the defense and have that same mindset. So I think,
and we saw
it was beautiful.
We saw a little bit of everything, which was awesome. 14 plays, 93 yards. Went 3 for 3 on third downs.
Yep.
So keeping the chains moving. We saw everybody, incorporated at the running back position. We had Raheem Mostert, who started the game, but he was backed up by Salvin Ahmed, as well as the rookie Devin Achane.
Yep.
Who ultimately got hurt. He's day-to-day right now, week to week right now with a shoulder injury. I hope he bounces back. I got high hopes for the Rook. Really like what I saw from him there.
I like him too.
But
it was hard.
But I also like what I saw from the other guys as well. I also like the fact that we're running the ball.
Yes.
McDaniels even talked about it in one of the interviews on the sideline. Is like, hey, we got a little bit of a different look this year. We're not looking to pass right away. We're looking to run the ball. And we're seeing that. Whether or not we're going to see that come to fruition in the regular season is yet to be determined. But if the preseason is any indication for, what's to come, this is something that we were yelling about, till we were blue in the face last year. We wanted to get the ball on the ground more.
At least we need to make the attempt to go 35 to 40 attempts between all the running backs in a game. That should be our goal. Maybe we have a guy who gets closer to 20 carries by himself, depending on the day and who's doing really well. But as if we're going to do a running back by committee, which is kind of what we have, then you're looking up to have between 35, 33 to 40. Because then that allows you to dominate the game. You're dominating pace of play. You're dominating the time clock. You're just dominating the game and the momentum of the game.
Yeah. Here's a question I got for you. I'm sorry. Were you going on to?
I was going to go on to something.
Go for it.
We had 38 carries in that game.
Yeah.
So that commitment to the run is what allowed the offense and Skylar Thompson to look really good because we had control. We can call the plays that we wanted to, and we could attack the defense at our own pace without being rushed or feeling rushed to score or something like that. What were you going to say?
No, I was gonna ask you. So, we've seen already through 2 preseason games, 4 out of the 5 running backs currently on our roster.
Yep.
And there's probably even more, but the 5 guys that I'm referring to are Jeff Wilson Jr., Raheem Mostert, Myles Gaskin, Salvin Ahmed, and now the rookie Devin. Who is not making this team. Because right now, I mean, I'll tell you from my perspective, I saw, Myles Gaskin. He looked good last week, had some great rushes. The rookie, really fast, really explosive, had some good rushes this week. Mostert looks healthy. He looks ready to go to be that number, one running back.
Shout out to Mostert.
Salvin Ahmed looked fantastic as well.
12 and 99.
I mean, he had the longest rush of the game on Saturday. I think it was a 65-yard rush. Yeah, you know what I mean? So, that's 5 guys. Granted, not one of them by themselves is a bona fide superstar. But we got some really good pieces there, and if we got to cut this roster down, which ultimately has to happen when they get down to the 53-man roster, who are the odd men out?
Well, let's see. We know that for sure Raheem's the number one, right? Even if it's by committee, he's still the number one. And then you got to kind of go with, you have to save a spot for Wilson, right? Because he's going to come back. He's out right now. He's going to come back. And then you really would want to have your rookie be a part of the team, right? Kid was a third round pick or something like that, right? Fourth. You really want that kid to make the team. So, in my opinion, you kind of put feelers out there to see what you can get for a Gaskin, what you can get for Ahmed. Not saying that I would want to get rid of those guys, but you have to maximize the youth that we have and the potential that's on in that running back. We don't know how long Mostert's going to be here. I doubt he'll be here more than 2 years. I doubt Jeff Wilson will be here more than 2 years. I know for sure Devin's going to be here more than 2 years. So you kind of want to kickstart that whole project off right now. You got to put the feelers out and see what you can get for Gaskin or for Ahmed. Maybe you get back a 6th, a 7th, a 5th, whatever. And you do it that way. But I think that those are the 2 guys that you look at as dispensable. Not because they're bad, because that you want to go a little bit younger, less what's the word I'm looking for? But less of a convoluted backfield where there's so many people, not enough opportunities. You want Raheem to get 15 or 20. You want whoever's going to be his backup to get a solid 8 to 12, 15 in a game. You want, if you're ahead, to be able to put the kid in and say, Devin, we're going to give you all these carries, kill out the game. Those are the things that you want to see, or at least have the potential to do. So that's why I think that Ahmed or Gaskin ends up not making this team.
I can see that. And out of those 2, I mean, I think
I'd rather keep Ahmed.
I think so too. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
He can catch the ball.
And I like Gaskin, man. Gaskin's a great guy. He was our starting running back for a while. You know what I mean? He can catch passes out of the backfield and everything, and still has some some good opportunity. But it's if we had to, and ultimately they're going to have to make those decisions. I wouldn't be surprised by that. But one thing I was thinking about, so we've been calling him Devin the whole time. Is it Devin or Devon? I don't even know now.
We're gonna have to get him on the show.
I know it's A-Chain, right? A-Chain is the last name?
Yeah. But we're gonna have to get him on the show. I don't know though.
We got to figure out. I don't know if it's Devin or Devon, because it's Devon. I know that.
Right.
So I'm not sure. I got to look into that.
Let's see. I'm trying.
But I hope he gets healthy. I hope he comes back. I think we got one more preseason game where we got to see. We got to see what these guys can do. I think you're right about the RB1 situation. It's a matter of who's going to be falling in line behind that, and everything you said, I pretty much agree with.
Look, right now, and this is only on the website, but right now, RB1A is Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr., right? Obviously. And then after that, they have Gaskin and Ahmed. And then behind that, they have Chris Brooks and the rookie
Devin or Devon.
To be named later.
DA. We're going to call him DA.
I honestly don't think that they don't give one of those positions to DA. And they get rid of Gaskin or Ahmed.
And I don't see those 2 guys. I mean, they've been in the league for a little while now, being like, I'll take a practice squad spot. Like,
right.
No, those guys warrant a backup running back job.
And 100% they deserve to get the shot.
I agree.
If I can get something in return for it, then I will definitely try to do that. Whether it's a 6th, 5th, 7th, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. But here's the trade. Take them. You know what I mean? Rather than you get them free off the practice squad. Yeah. Even though you might get a conditional if they do end up signing him or whatever. But I'd rather just make the deal as clean as possible and say, hey, man, good luck in your new future.
The good news is that we have a good problem. We have a lot of talented guys in that backfield. Absolutely. We just got to figure out who we want to keep. So we know we're solid there. Tua looked great, even granted off that first play, he was able to recover well and have a great, next drive and few plays. And his backup, Skylar Thompson, Great game.
I think he solidified himself as the backup. I think he's going to take that job over Mike White.
I mean,
he deserves it.
We talked about it a little bit, I think, on the OP run that we did.
Yep,
I don't think
shout out to Mark, shout out to Rax.
We gave our thoughts on who we saw, and I was a little taken back by the fact that Skylar Thompson wasn't given the starting job in the first preseason game, while he was asked to come in the second half.
Well, you got to remember, they did sign Mike White to be the backup, so it was like, all right, let's see what you got. And I think that Skylar, just with the familiarity that he has with being on this team and knowing the guys, obviously was able to have that advantage and took the most of it.
Absolutely.
And rightly so. Go out there and ball, dog. Earn that second spot.
First play that they threw him in the game was a deep bomb.
Yeah.
Didn't connect, but they let him unload, and that kid's got an arm.
Yeah. He's not afraid to sling it.
But besides that, man, I mean, 15 for 22, 127 yards, and the biggest stat line of them all, 3 touchdowns.
Yep. Important, man. He knows. Again, I don't want to depend on him, but
no.
I don't, and I really don't. I know he's not better than Tua, Marin. I know he's not better than Tua, right? So it's good to know that he's there in case I need him. Just be there.
Yeah.
Show it off. Let the teams call and say, hey, what do you want for Skylar Thompson? Call me. Call me all day.
Fool me once. We saw Skylar Thompson do this in the preseason last year. Had a phenomenal showing his rookie year. And then, we called upon him and he did all right. There was games where he did all right, but you can tell he wasn't ready for that moment. Who knows? Maybe he's more experienced now and he'll be ready for that tap on that tap on the shoulder. But yes, we're just comfortable with him being Tua's backup. If Tua needs to sit out a game or whatever the case may be, we're not saying he's ready to be, anything of a starting, franchise quarterback. But he looks good right now in his development. He's developing very nicely.
Keep killing it in preseason against the 2s and the 3s and the 4s.
Yeah, he looks good, man. He looks real good.
Keep killing it. Yeah, man. Dolphins next game. I think the last preseason game is Saturday, 7 p.m. against Jacksonville in the home state before they come home and get ready for first game of the season against the Chargers.
Oh yeah.
Bro, we got a lot to look forward to, man. Not only is football going to be officially back in a couple of weeks by the time I get back, but yeah, we'll have OnlyFans fully kicked off. The Dolphins will be winning, 1-0 already. So like, it'll be crazy. It's going to be such a crazy whirlwind. Hurricanes football is getting ready to start too.
Best time of the year is coming up, man.
Football time. Ain't nothing
High expectations for that Hurricanes team, man. High expectations, in my opinion.
Yeah, we may have to do something for everybody's fantasy football too.
Everybody's leaving the ACC. Things are happening. I mean, the Hurricanes need to figure something out.
We need a good year. Mario needs a for real good year here in year 2 of the crystal ball era. And I think he's going to do it.
Yeah.
I think he's going to do it.
They need to. We got some honorable mentions before we get out of here.
Yeah, we got to talk about UFC 292, man. What a fucking banger, dog. A highly anticipated fight between champion Aljamain Sterling and number 1 contender, Sean O'Malley. Wow. That fight really lived up to expectations because it was very hyped up and people wanted to know like how the fight was going to end out because you had the best of the best in that bantamweight division at what they do. Like Sterling is a killer when it comes to his ground game. He's choked out I don't know how many guys in his career. And Sean O'Malley on the other side has knocked fools out every single time he's put under the bright lights. So it was kind of interesting to see how this fight was going to shake out. And lo and behold, man, Sugar was able to catch Aljamain Sterling walking into a right hand, and he just fucking dropped him, dog.
It was beautiful. I saw the comparisons of, Conor McGregor and Josie Aldo, that fight when he dropped him and all that. Very reminiscent of that. I mean, it was dope. There was a lot of, obviously, they had a lot of bad blood going into the fight, whether it was showmanship or whatever. Right. But Aljo was calling him out in his path to the championship belt. There was questions already around Aljo being the champ himself and how he got his belt. So, it was a lot of fireworks were expected in this fight, whether it was one way or the other. But I'm kind of glad they went in Sugar Sean's way because I always like to see a knockout versus somebody getting choked out. I don't know about you.
I honestly, for me, knockouts are super cool to see and shit like that. But I like the chokeouts because it takes a certain amount of work to get to that position and choke that person out. You know what I mean? Like that person is not willingly just being like, oh yeah, take my neck. And
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
But I think the wow factor is greater when a knockout.
Absolutely. Because they're both putting themselves in that danger zone, right? And it becomes almost like the unexpected thing.
And it's so quick. You can kind of see a choke develop. I'll give you this, I'm not a high level MMA guy by any means, but when I'm watching it with guys like Jesse and he's like, oh shit. And I'm like, what's up? And he's like, see what he's doing right here? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, wait till you see the next thing that's going to lead to. And I'm like, what? And I don't even see it coming.
And then boom.
It's like, oh shit. Like that kind of shit I can appreciate for sure. But still, man, there's nothing like a crazy knockout, at any weight level. And O'Malley has that, man. Even though they're bantamweight, it was funny. They
skinny dudes.
They after the fight, or after the weigh-in of the official weigh-in, Aljo had tweeted out, he was like, 9 pounds overweight, over my
walk around weight,
whatever the hell, this and that. And O'Malley was like, he just tweeted back, like a picture of the scale that he was on. He was like 20 pounds over, like double that or some shit. He's like, bro, like, and I'm still going, you know what I mean? Like, so he's able to cut well, and it doesn't take too much of a toll on his body, it seems.
Hell no.
Where he's still able to generate that power and knock fools out.
Well, that's what makes Sean O'Malley such a dangerous fighter in that bantamweight division. He's a big dude, dog. 5'11". He's a big dude. And he's fighting at 135. So, yeah, that weight cut is impressive as fuck, even though you're walking around at 160, 170, which is really good shape for a dude who's 5'10", 5'11", right? But still, you're much bigger than everybody else pretty much in that division. And now, like, when you can carry that power in that type of division, you're a very formidable opponent because, dudes can wrestle and probably have a little bit better jiu-jitsu than you and shit. But the fight starts standing up. So you'll have always that element on your side where they're like, as long as things are standing up, you know that you're probably going to land that punch that knocks Buddy out. And we have to also give credit to Sterling, right? He's been a champ, has defended that belt multiple times. I think this was his 5th or 6th title defense in a row. A guy who won the belt questionably, won it back, right? Won it legit, and then defended it every single time after that. And he was willing to step up and trade with Sean, right? A lot of dudes probably wouldn't have that in their game plan, but obviously Sterling had that belief that he could. And for the most part, he was able to stick and move with that dude. But O'Malley just possesses that difference power, that I'm going to make a difference if this touches you. And it did. He caught Aljamain slipping and he put him to sleep, dog. He didn't really put him to sleep.
Yeah,
but
he didn't really. They kind of called it, and Aljo, I think, was.
But he put him in La La Land because he hit him so hard that he went down and he just immediately went to cover up.
And he got off, I don't know how many more shots after that.
God, it was like 10 or 12 shots.
So, I mean, I definitely can see a rematch. I don't know what the clause was or whatever these guys have. I don't know. Usually you got to give it to the next guy in line or however that works. But I can definitely see a rematch between these two guys down the road.
Absolutely. But the problem with the bantamweight is that there's so many dudes there that you can fight, right? Like there's so many dudes. Like a guy who fought that night, Chito Vera, dude who was a number 1 contender a couple of months ago, has been avenging all his losses. You got Aljamain Sterling's training partner, Dvalishvili. I'm sure I'm killing his name, but his first name is Merab. He's one of the best bantamweights. He might get a title shot. Henry Cejudo, he fights at that weight. You got Sugar there. Corey Sandhagen, who has looked good in his last 2 performances. He may be a guy who gets a title shot, right? Who's fought for a title before against Aljamain and lost. You got the former champ, Peter Yan in there, Sergio. There's a lot of dudes. There's a lot of dudes in that bantamweight division. I'm interested to see how the new rankings are going to come out later on this week and to see who can get that shot or who's going to sell the most pay-per-views against a guy like Sugar Sean O'Malley, man. What an impressive fight, man. What an impressive fight. And that card really did have a lot of great fights. We saw Wei
had a hell of a knockout, too.
A hell of a fucking win, unanimous decision. She really beat the crap out of that, what's her name? Lemos. I forget her first name, dog.
She won by decision? I thought it was knockout.
Yeah, it was a decision. She knocked her down.
Okay, so it was
Amanda, obviously, another Brazilian lady named Amanda. Lemos. I knew it was freaking something with an ace. So familiar. But whatever. Credit to Amanda. She stood in there, but she had nothing nothing for Zhang Weili, man. Nothing. That lady is gonna really rule that division, that strawweight division, for a while, man. And there was one other cool thing that happened. I mentioned Chito Vera winning. That was cool. But on the last fight of the undercard, Chris Weidman made his return to the UFC. He had broke his leg in that terrible accident. It kind of broke his leg on a kick. Looked really bad. It was one of the deaths. I'll show you.
Anderson Silva?
Yeah. You remember that?
That was years ago.
Bro, he hadn't fought in the UFC since then.
No, that's why. That's wild. I didn't even know he fought.
Well, he had to completely restructure his leg.
That's what I'm saying. I think he would hang it up after that.
Nah, not when you're a warrior, man. He came back, ultimately didn't get the decision, and got his leg fucking abused, pretty much. That dude Tavares did not stop kicking that motherfucking leg.
That's why you hang it up, dog.
But that's why
you have a compromised limb now. Everybody's gonna go for that limb.
But at least he knew that he could make it back, dog. You know what I mean? He made it back to the UFC, and that shit was cool, man. We also have to shout out the Spain's women national team for winning the Women's World Cup. They beat England to take their first ever women's national title. So now they've become one of the first countries to win both the women's and women's. Yeah.
Damn, that's pretty dope.
Pretty cool, right?
Yeah. Another honorable mention, we got to shout out your boy, dog.
Shout him out. My dog, Victor Hovland, finally won one, dog. He finally got a fucking victory.
Well,
dog.
He already won earlier this year. He won the Memorial in June.
Yeah, but he got a good tournament, dog.
But this one was an impressive one because he had one of the best rounds nines anybody's ever had in golf ever. I mean, he had 2 pars, 7 birdies. He found every fairway on the back 9. He was 3 shots back going into the back 9.
Yep.
And he ended up winning outright by, I think, a stroke or 2. But it was just beautiful, the round that he put together in that back 9. Ultimately ended up breaking the course record
61,
at Olympia. Right? Yeah. So, I mean, that definitely needs to be mentioned. Honorable mention, you know, a guy that we know is beyond talented from that same class as, the same time as Sandra Shoffley or Colin Morikawa and Wolf, I forget his name, Matt Wolf and all that. Guy that we know has a skill, but, hasn't put it all together, and he's getting hot at the right time going into the FedEx Cup.
Absolutely. But we always knew that Victor had this in him. Obviously, we always knew that he can be capable of playing this great in order to win. Right now, playing this great in the first day of the tournament or second day of the tournament. No, playing this great when it's crunch time, when you need to put on your best performance in order to walk away with the victory, regardless of the tournament. And to see Victor dominate like he did that course is super impressive, man. And for me, it kind of I felt like, yo, good for you, dog. You know what I mean? Like, good for you, Victor. I'm sure you got a lot of shit. I'm sure people around you in that golf community don't think you have what it takes or whatever, or can be a real threat to any of the top 5 in the world or anything like that. But this guy's game is really up there, dog, when he's on, man. It really is, dog.
Yeah. He bumped himself up in the rankings for the championship.
Absolutely.
At Eastlake. And I think it's $10 million that's on the line. He just put himself in some prime position. So
gotta make that paper.
If a guy that was second place, that was leading the charge, and Victor ended up stealing it from, was Scotty Scheffler, who's the only guy ahead of him right now. So
it's gonna be a good
golf this weekend.
It's gonna be a good one.
Lock it in.
Lock it in. Lock it up. Oh,
you lock it up.
No, let's lock this up.
Let's lock this up.
Let's lock this up, dog. But you know what we gotta do? We gotta tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To go watch that 365 video.
Ooh-wee. That shit's only on Sports with SoSo YouTube channel.
You hear me?
What a game. 5-on-5 Wednesday night championship game was impressive. Shout out to Death Row. Shout out to what's the other team? Come on.
Shoot, if I could tell you it was like the Trappers or something.
No, man.
I don't know.
Death Row, another team.
Hitmen.
No,
something
man.
Like that. Cartel. I don't know, dog, but go watch the video. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Also, BKFC this Friday.
Yes, sir.
We're going to have our correspondents on site bringing you some content.
Yes, sir. Shout out to Gogo, hometown talent. Hopefully that dude represents. And shout out to Brian, too. Gallo, we see you, my dog. Yeah, man, go hit that subscribe button on the YouTube channel. And until next time,
peace.